Hello and welcome back. Season 2, Footy Fans Podcast. Andrew and Santo, no Joe for this one. He's got to work.
Yep.
We're recording this on a Tuesday, so we had all the EPL games on the weekend all take place. Brand new season for us again. Thank you for having us back. Thank you for everyone who listened and watched us last year. Hopefully we do a better job this time. You know, you work on improvements, you get better as you go along. Hopefully we're better. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Santo, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Yeah, just it was funny when I was watching the first game of the season. I just got the Premier League jitters back. Like, just new season starting, all the hype. Just hoping we get one, that's one for the books, right? I mean, last year was super exciting, so we'll see if we can have the same thing again.
Yeah, and it's so weird too because the EPL calendar, it's almost a whole year basically, right? It's almost a 12-month season. You only get 2 months off basically. And then with the whole World Cup happening this year, it's going to be weird how they end up making it happen come November. So we'll see how that takes place. I don't even know if they already made the schedule come out, if they're changing things. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah, so they just have like that whole month off. Just no games are going to happen, which I think games started a little earlier across the world just for the World Cup that's happening. I didn't see how late we go. I think I'm pretty sure it still ends in May. So I think they're just going to have games, more midweek games, which we'll see how it takes to the players. But it is going to be interesting not really having that Christmas break in the Premier League, because usually it's a Premier League Christmas break where you have like 5 games in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird, man. Like it looks like they're just gonna have that 1 month condensed into the whole rest of the remainder of the season, and just like you said, make up games left and right, play on a Tuesday, play on a Thursday. Thought to fit in at least 5 games per team, it seems like. In that window, because the last weekend of the season, I know we're getting really far ahead of ourselves, but last weekend of the season is May 28th. So it's still, like you said, end of May is the deadline for the end of the season. So we'll see how it works out. I mean, I guess the schedule makers have had a lot of time on their hands to figure this out. And I mean, as long as there's footy on, we're going to watch it, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of like last year where you had so many cancellations because of COVID. So last year we're getting games sprinkled in everywhere else. So this year, we're going to get the same thing just for another reason.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously the way that, like, with COVID happening, the pandemic happening, it was obviously a shit show for many reasons. But once they did start to get things going, it was literally almost every day you had something to watch.
Yeah.
Like throughout all of Europe, throughout, even North American sports making up games here and there. So we were lucky that we got those games blessed to us when we did back then. We're going to get more to us now, like with the whole, like you said, World Cup schedule being thrown into the mix. But first off, brand new season here, 2022 EPL season, tons of new signings, new managers taking the helm at some clubs, surprise teams that we think might have like a really good season this year. We'll get into that in a little bit. We'll do some game breakdowns. We'll just talk about what we think the season's going to look forward to in the next few months until halfway through the season. And off the hop, I mean, we'll start with Man City because I think we're both going to agree they're probably the title contenders again this year.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland coming there. We touched on it last episode or last season of our podcast. If you guys want to listen to that again, go back in the archives on YouTube channel for footy fans, and obviously on Apple Podcast, Spotify. You can check our podcast there. But we touched on Haaland coming there at the end of last season. We were saying how Man City has been desperately needing a number 9 for the last couple of years under Pep, just to get him over that last hump, make them that much closer to a Champions League contender. They got him. He showed up. 2 goals off the hop, win 2-0 over a West Ham side that didn't really seem to show up this game. I mean, coming off what they did last year, I kind of had high hopes for them again to maybe just make another jump forward. But, they just didn't really make anything happen in the midfield. And Man City just took it to them the entire game. And Haaland scoring the 2 goals that he did. I mean, the one being the PK, it was worthy of a penalty shot. But that second one that he had, just his movement off the ball. Like, you can tell why he is like the next coming of a Zlatan or Lewandowski,
Yeah. No, I could I could talk a lot about this because there's a lot of interesting points just in terms of Haaland coming. Just so many dynamics towards his signing fee and all that. But I know he was getting a little bit of slack before the season started because I guess he didn't like play that well in any preseason stuff. But yeah, he shows up. Um, Even the PK goal. I mean, in the past, you had City. They have their false nine. No one was gonna start a darting run from the top of the 18 going towards the net. Haaland, once Gundogan picks up the ball, he starts sprinting towards the net and Gundogan passes him the ball. Somehow he gets there, and goalie had to take him down, or it would have been a goal anyway. So he fully deserved that. Um, and yeah, his run on his second goal, we talked about it before our game on Sunday. City didn't have that last year. He didn't have any big number 9 that was going to go run in behind D and just go and score like a breakaway. So it just goes to show what they were missing. It was interesting because I know a lot of people talk about how like City buys titles, which whatever that means. I think on some level you can say that's true, but it is interesting because Chelsea spent more on Cucurella than City did on Haaland, which and City has made a profit over the last few seasons in terms of their signing. So for anyone that's just interested in those stats, take it for what it's worth. But I did find that was really interesting where obviously City's had a reputation for just buying their competition's players so they win.
Yeah.
But granted, they are making fairly good financial decisions. I mean, we can talk at length about what's happened with Man U and Chelsea with some of their signings and then letting them go.
We will.
And not making a lot of money. So I think that conversation has been a really interesting one because it's worth noting because they obviously have a lot of money, but you also have to make smart decisions so you're not spending a lot on players and then letting them go for free. Which how many teams have we seen do that this offseason?
Yeah, and like when the overhaul came from Man City, when the new ownership came in, over a decade ago now, and the likes of Pellegrini and who was it? The other manager there.
Like after Pellegrini?
Yeah, sorry. What's his name? Italian.
Mancini.
Mancini. Oh my god, I was blanking so hard. Pellegrini, Mancini, they had the budget to go basically buy whoever they want, like you said. And that seemed like a good formula back at that time. But then the game has changed and evolved so much. And Pep being the manager that he is, he still goes out there and finds guys, but it's guys that work. It's guys that fit his plan. It's not that just they're buying, 8 players per season just to have them on their squad. Like I always go back to it when they bought Adebayor.
Adebayor for Arsenal.
Adebayor, I mean, this is over 12 years ago now, probably. He was by far like a stud at Arsenal. Like one of their better players and like their goal scorer after like Henry left and kind of in that Van Persie like weird like time period. And he was like scoring 25 goals a season at Arsenal. He goes to Man City and doesn't even play.
Yeah.
But they just bought him because they could. And Arsenal's like, yeah, we'll take 40 mil or whatever it was at the time. Now they're getting players that actually make sense for their team. Like I think Haaland was like the most crucial sign that they've needed for 5 years. And then even the likes of Calvin Phillips just kind of shore up that midfield with Fernandinho leaving and like Gabriel Jesus leaving. Obviously, that's another 2 guys in that middle pitch that they'll need support with. So Calvin Phillips coming in from Leeds is actually a pretty good signing. I think he came on late as a sub. But again, it's just guys that are going to fit the system and guys that are actually probably going to get playing time. And we haven't really seen the likes of Man City go out and like pick up and pinpoint exact fixes and holes that they need in their squad until Pep became their manager.
Right.
So we've seen the transition of what he's brought to Man City, and like obviously it's paid off domestically, but still that big prize that they're chasing is always going to be Champions League. And I mean, you arguably have like one of the best goalkeepers in the world. You have a couple of players in midfield with, Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne, who are arguably the best midfielders in the world. And now you basically just got the top striker in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
In all of Europe and in the world. So if you're going to build your squad to win Champions League, they're finally doing it. And all the pieces of the puzzle are hopefully going to fit together for this season. And I think if Man City can just get on a roll like they have been before, and again, injury bugs aside and illnesses aside and whatever, this could be a historic season, I think, for Man City.
Yeah.
Like I think they can go on a run with this team because there's no holes, there's no gaps anymore.
Right.
Like there is nothing wrong with this team.
Yeah.
And that's coming from me. And like I hate saying it so much. It pisses me off that I'm saying it. But I think they're gonna run away with this season. I think Liverpool's gonna be there, but I think this is gonna be a big Man City win for this year.
Yeah. Yeah, we can, it's obviously early on.
I
We
know,
can
but they're so good.
there's always speculation, but the you can always see how the team fits together. And last year we talked about at the start of the season, how is City going to perform without a striker? Because there was a gap there. Um, and yeah, Haaland was kind of just that piece for them, and it's going to be really interesting to see how other teams kind of cope with this, because I do think he's built for the EPL, just his size, his speed, but his ability to just hold the ball and actually do things with the ball at his feet. Uh, it's looking like a really complete team. So, I think it's always going to be a conversation. City and Liverpool, everyone's talking about they'll probably be the top two again this year. Uh, but I don't really think, especially with Liverpool's performance against Fulham, obviously it's just one performance, but it's going to be interesting to see how they handle Haaland, because they did take City a lot of games last year. I don't know how that's going to turn out for them this year with just how complete City's looking.
Yeah. Yeah, they look really, really solid. And like you said, yeah, it's one game, I know, but
Still the
it was
team.
it was a really good game. And on paper
Yeah.
and just on performance of the players, like, and that's the thing too. And when you watch Man City play, it's like almost like no one, because they are such a team, no one really outshines each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like, oh my God, did you see this one game from this player? Like, did you see the one game from De Bruyne? Like he was so good. The whole team is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the scary part about it.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you look at Liverpool game, it's like, okay, well, Mo Salah got like 3 goals. Like he killed it. Like he was amazing. Or
Yeah.
something like that. It's like, yeah, Haaland got 2 goals this game, and like he obviously did stand out just on the score sheet. But if you actually watch the game, like everybody on the pitch played really, really well.
Yeah.
And so if that's the way your team's going, if you have everyone playing well, or you have 9 guys out of 11 that are playing really well, and 2 guys aren't doing so hot, the whole team picks you up.
Yeah.
Or you see other teams like they depend on players to play well. Like I think if Liverpool don't have Mo Salah like on his game, or I mean they lost Sadio Mane this year, but if they don't have Firmino or this Nunez guy that they brought in, if they don't have them like playing top level, I think they find it hard to get wins still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas as the likes of City, I think they can just still get through with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Uh, yeah. Liverpool do have that signing up top with
Darwin Nunez.
yeah. Uh, I just can't wait to see them matched up. Thinking
Yeah.
about it, I can't wait for the City Liverpool clash. See what happens.
Let's see what that
But
is. I'll try and find that game right now, actually.
yeah, but Liverpool did struggle with Fulham. I mean, I watched a good chunk of that game, and I think Liverpool were a little lucky to come away with that point. Fulham had them on the back foot and were ahead 2-1 before they got the equalizer,
Mm-hmm.
and they just kind of took it to them. People say first game of the season is tough, especially with maybe the top teams. I know Pep in particular tries and gives his players a really good rest in the off season. So their first game back, is probably the worst they're going to be for the entire season, because they haven't played, they've rested. So, and I've heard it a lot where people say, if you're going to beat a top team, you want to play in the first game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Fulham almost took full advantage of that, but in the case of West Ham, I don't know if West Ham just did not prepare, or just City were too good on the day, but West Ham did not take advantage of that at all.
Yeah, and Fulham coming up from the championship division, it's obviously like a spark plug game for them. They want to get at it right away.
Yeah.
And those teams have nothing to lose. We've seen in the past, even with, likes of Leicester, obviously, like putting on that run that they did, coming up from the championship division and then solidifying themselves and then just being able to build up, 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 up. You have like a chip on your shoulder a little bit, but you have nothing to lose when you play hard.
Right.
Because like you're just happy to be there in the league. Like
Yeah.
we'll see how like Nottingham Forest came away with a 2-0 loss in Newcastle. So we'll see if they can bounce back a little bit. Bournemouth got a victory against Aston Villa, so like that's huge for them coming back in the league. And then we'll see how Fulham can hopefully keep this forward, keep this going because Fulham's such a historic club too.
Yeah.
And like just like they're just like when we started watching like 20 years ago, they were like in the league. Like it was like
Mhm.
they were never really that good, but they were just like such a mainstay in the EPL.
Yeah.
Where it's like I just love to see them back in the fold. So hopefully they can stay up this year. And they did fight. They did fight hard. They played really well
Hmm.
against Liverpool.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was the first game of the year, so every team I think had their adrenaline like maxed out at 110.
Hmm.
So we'll see if that drops off a little bit in the season. Hopefully not. But yeah, from the Liverpool Fulham match, like it took an 80th minute most solid equalizer to just skate by a point.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm
At
not gonna put I'm not gonna put like Liverpool down for this year. I'm not gonna like shoot them like a dead dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna put it in them, but I think they'll bounce back. But I still think Man City's just gonna be like the powerhouse for this year.
Yeah, totally agree. But it was nice to see the Craven Cottage at
Hell yeah.
like just see it, and then they actually have the Craven Cottage in at the stadium that it was named after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, super cool just seeing a historic club like Fulham back in
I
the
think
EPL.
they're adding another layer of seats too,
They are, yeah.
like a whole nother section because they showed like I think it's the section where the camera was so you couldn't see it, but
Hmm.
they panned around like one time during the match and just like a whole ass like huge section.
Yeah.
I'm like yes,
Yeah, just
little makeover.
expanding the cottage.
Probably be like I don't know 12,000 to 15,000. How
Yeah,
many seats
probably
is this?
probably a little minor expansion there.
25. It's 25,000 seat stadium. Renovation's going to be
Yeah,
done. I don't know what's going to become. Let's see here.
yeah, I mean, you're probably looking at like 7 to 10,000, maybe. Oh, probably not 10,000. It's like almost
Yeah,
50% increase.
it says it's going to be reduced to 19,000 during construction, but it'll be brought up to 30,000 once it's all done.
Okay, so
So
8,000
yeah,
more.
yeah. So it's being taken down a little bit now, but still 19,000 in like tight quarters. It's
Love
gonna
it.
feel like 90,000.
Yeah.
Um, where do you want to go now? Do you want
I
to go?
I kind
Where
of
do you
want
want
to
to
go
go?
Arsenal right now.
Yes. Yes. You lead off Arsenal. You hit them.
So, what not to the day, but a year ago when we were starting Footy Fans last season, Arsenal was, laughing stock is probably a bad word, but
Eh,
they lost their first 4 games
yeah.
and were sitting at the bottom of the table. Didn't score a goal in their first month of the EPL. So it was all this talks about, Arteta getting fired. Arsenal is just not good anymore. Obviously, they came back, didn't get into Champions League, which, I think they could have but they had a few key losses that prevented that from happening.
Hmm.
But this year, just, didn't make a ton of signings, but the handful that they made, particularly Jesus and oh my gosh, Zinchenko
Yeah.
from City, uh, just really not completing their team, but I think really having a positive impact. I mean, they just seem really good for the side. And for me, they're going to be the other side that's going to make it into Champions League this year. Just with how they finished last year, the signings they made. Again, we can't base it off one game, but I just think this is really a year for them to get back into the UCL.
Yeah. When, like you said, when we started Footy Fans, we're like, wow, our job's gonna be so easy because the content Arsenal was giving us, like week in,
Yeah,
week out, we could talk for 2 hours. Like this is
yeah,
amazing. Like, because we're like, we don't know how to start a podcast. We don't know what we're gonna talk about. Arsenal loss, Arsenal loss, Arsenal loss. We're like, we could fill our entire 2 hour time slot with just one team.
yeah.
Um, well, yeah, like you said, big turnaround for them last year, clearly. Just missing out on Champions League, had a pretty crummy last month of the season, which kind of shot them in the foot. But yeah, to be the first match of the season, being away at Crystal Palace, never
Hmm.
easy ground to go to. And like I said, I thought the adrenaline might kind of be like really, really high for both teams, and Crystal Palace might come out firing too. We know that they play the top clubs really, really well just historically.
Hmm.
And what I saw from Arsenal this match, I was actually blown away.
Yeah.
I was like, I wouldn't put it. I think I did tweet out actually. I didn't say exactly word for word like this is like what Wenger used to do, but it reminded me of like the style of play in the early 2000s with Arsenal, like just the ball movement, the fluidity of the play, the off the ball movement and everything. I was like, this is what made me really get into the EPL 20 years ago when I first started watching it.
Hmm.
I wasn't an Arsenal fan, but I appreciated Arsenal because they were just that good at the time. Like, it was them
Yeah.
and Man U, in the early 2000s. Those are the two breadwinners for the league. And I put my sights on the other side of London to be a Chelsea supporter. But with Arsenal, I was like, this team's really fun to watch. They're really, really freaking good. And watching them play Friday, I was like, this is how they should be always playing. This is how they used to win games.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. And like you said, off two signings, really. I
Yeah.
mean, they lost a ton of guys, but guys that didn't really play too much. Some guys went out on loan. Losing Lacazette this season. I mean, he kind of wanted to get out. Obviously, you could
Yeah.
tell. Like that's like the big one that they lost for this year. But like you said, yeah, just bringing the likes of Zinchenko and Jesus from again a winning mentality, a winning culture at Man City. Both pretty relatively young players still, so they still have something to prove a little bit. Like they're obviously top quality guys, but Jesus didn't start every game. Zinchenko definitely didn't start every match for
Hmm.
Man City. But we know that they're quality players, and now they're going to get 90 minutes a game, or they're going to
Yeah.
be the first name on the game sheet, and that's going to boost their confidence to play better. And I mean, we're just going to see jumps from players. We're going to see jumps from Saka. We're going to see jumps from Odegaard. We're going to see the young guys that they had playing at their back line last year now have another full EPL season under their belt.
Hmm.
Ramsdale and Ned going to take another leap. He might become the England's number one this year. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like they have a really good side now who just needed playing time, which they got last year and experience. And now this season, let's hopefully put it all together and they're going to perform. And yeah, I mean, because we know that Man U is going to be a tough side to watch, I think, this year. And then Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, they might battle it out for third and fourth. And one of those teams I think are going to miss out, unfortunately. I can't say who I think yet will make that fourth spot in Champions League, but I definitely know Arsenal will be there fighting for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like last season, no way in hell. I'm like, there's no way this
Yeah.
team's going to make it. And they kind of shut me up with how they played last season towards the end of the year. But I think from the get go here, they're going to be in that top five um, standings for like the whole season, I think.
Hmm.
And it's just good to see them back up there again because like they are a good side
Yeah.
and they do have quality guys, but they just weren't able to, get it together. And I think this season they're going to play pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and I don't want to kind of, you know, make it sound like it's a City podcast, but it's yeah.
You? Well,
Yeah.
Joe's not here. If it was Joe and you, then I'd be like, holy shit. Okay.
Well, it's just because we bring up Jesus and Zinchenko and how you say, they didn't play a whole lot for City. Um, they come to Arsenal, who obviously is like a really big side, and they just slot in, start, and they're gonna be playing, most games,
Mm-hmm.
at least 75+% of the time. Um, it just goes to kind of show what quality you need in certain positions to actually make a big difference on your team. When Zinchenko got signed, a lot of people were saying, play him in mid at Arsenal. That's where he plays for Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously City with their inverted defenders, he plays there because he comes into the mid anyway. I do feel like with Arteta being at City and now obviously going to Arsenal, but kind of bringing a lot of that strategy and game plan to Arsenal. I think he probably just has the same thing in mind for him. So that's why he's still playing outside back.
Mm-hmm.
But just kind of seeing that quality, get added to Arsenal, like you said, it's going to be interesting to see how it kind of elevates everyone and the quality they start bringing to all their games. Because obviously at the start of last season, that quality was not there.
No, no, it was tough to watch at times.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, and like Mike Martinelli, I'm looking at the lineup now that they put out for their match against Crystal Palace. Martinelli is a really young kid, and he had flashes last season, like where he looks like he's going to take the next step. That then he would, be quiet for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Partey too, another player, like big signing when he came there, a lot of hype with them, but like he didn't really do what he was meant to do at Arsenal
Mm-hmm.
last year. Um, But now again, another season under their belt. Martinelli's 1 year older. I think he's like 20. What is he? 21 years old now. So like he's a baby, but he's got EPL experience, right? He's got a full season under his belt. And Arteta is a Pep guy. Like he knows Pep's strategy. He kind of has the same mentality, I believe. So him slotting Zinchenko in like left back, like he knew what he was doing with that.
Yeah.
And even though he's like left back and he's like in that part of the pitch, he's still going to get forward. He's still going to contribute. He's still going to make his move into like the midfield, like you said. So I think just again, like adding another foot in there that knows what to do with the ball is like really crucial, because we said before with Arsenal, they're kind of just missing somebody in the midfield. They're lacking more ball control or like game management. And I think with Zinchenko, like he can add that. Jesus can add that too. And I think Odegaard too. I think he might take the leap this year as well. Like I think Xhaka is their captain right now for the last couple of seasons. But once ever Xhaka departs, I think Odegaard's going to slide into that and just be the captain for the team.
Yeah.
He's already the captain of Norway, I believe, at 23 years old. Yeah. So, I mean, he can obviously hold down a nation's leadership role. He can probably hold down Arsenal's too.
Yeah.
So they have the pieces now. They have the guys. And it's just, again, building it all together and making it work on Sunday. Yeah. And yeah, I think we both agree. I think Joe would too, probably. A lot to expect from Arsenal this year.
Oh yeah.
It's finally a season where, because again, we're not Arsenal guys, but I know Arsenal people, and they just think that their team's the best every year. They're not the best this year. They're definitely not the best. But this is the season where if you have high expectations from Arsenal to play really well and to get results, I think this is the year to look at that and be like, yes, this team can probably do that.
Yeah, definitely agree. And shout out to all the Arsenal fans. I mean, they've had it rough for a long time. Seems like they're kind of making an emergence.
So funny though. It's so funny. It's funny because they're goofs, man. They're goofs.
Just the most meme-worthy team over the last several years, unfortunately.
It really is. They really are though. But again, it's all self-inflicted. They do to themselves.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, it's tough when you've had like such an historic club. Look at like the likes of Henry that have come through. It's tough. You got to live up to a lot of expectation.
Yeah. But again, it's every year. They're like, oh, like top 4 this year. Hey, Champions League title this year. Hey, like we're going to win the EPL. It's like 5th, 6th, 4th, 7th. Like not even in the realm, but every year we're going to win. Let's go to a team right now that we know is not going to win this year. Man U. We'll say Chelsea to the end. But Man United 2-1 loss against Brighton at home at Old Trafford. Ten Hag's first official Premier League match at the helm. New manager, new signings of Eriksen, Lisandro Martinez. Martinez didn't play though, did he? I don't think he played this game.
I don't believe so. I don't know if he's. I didn't catch all of it.
Oh no, he did. Yes, right. He just started center back. Picked up a yellow card actually. I mean, if I didn't notice him, then I didn't notice him. That's one thing. Players leaving: Cavani gone, Mata gone, Pogba, Lingard. Who else? Matic. Ton of guys leaving the side. Pereira, going to Fulham. Not a good look, I don't think. Really good to see Christian Eriksen back in the top Premier League club. He's probably like the one bright spot that I took from this match. It's really good to see him, back playing like for a really competitive team, like a good quality team. No offense to Brentford, but he just still shows up and he's like, wow, this guy is like quality. Like he knows what the hell he's doing. So it's good to have him back healthy and active in a good squad. But not good squad, but active in a squad. But from Man U, like what it was like the stars aligned for this game. Like everything that could have gone wrong. Like they all like it's just so funny because again, it's Man U, so it's similar to
the team that's turning into the Arsenal that was Arsenal like a few years
ago. Basically, they're just swapping roles now. It's funny to watch from a neutral standpoint, like where I don't have any stake in the game. It's funny to me. I know it's heartbreaking for many Man U fans because their fan base is another ridiculous support group. But what do we take from it? What's going to happen this year with Man United?
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's really tough because I love Sir Alex Ferguson. I love the old Man U, right? And I think everyone does, right? And that's what
Mm-hmm.
made a lot of Man U players when they had just that historic club that was just winning literally everything all the time. Um, it's kind of it's sad. I mean, in the sense, last year they had just really poor run of form, and everyone kind of said, this year, chalk it up as an L, and we'll get started next year with Ten Hag. Bring in a few new good signings, and it just kind of really sucks that the first game turns out to be a loss. I mean, it's a long season ahead, so last year Arsenal were bottom of the table, then made a resurgence. So I think it's going to be really tough for Man U to do that this year. I think there's still a lot of gaps that they got to fill in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it's just like you said, the stars just align. It's one of those things where it's the same story from Man U, and I hope for their sake they can just figure it out and start being competitive again. Because for Man U to turn into just a mid-table club, and they have to just keep going through this cycle of rebuilding and new coaches and re-signing people, it's going to be just really tough on the fans. And we said it a ton, when Man U's really good, the whole league is good. So we
Yeah.
hope that they can just turn it around.
Yeah. Since Alex Ferguson left, I think they've had 5 managers now.
Yeah,
I think Ten Hag's their 5th manager in the last 10 years or what. I don't know when Ferguson left. 14, 15.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So let's just say almost 10 years they've had 5 different managers. That's like getting into Chelsea territory. And like you don't want to be near that. Like
yeah,
you don't want to have that in your side, especially from Man U. Um, but it's just yeah, like you hit it like right on the head. They just have so many gaps in this team where you look at their starting 11, who they put out there. Ronaldo came on off the bench. Obviously, he's a quality guy. He's gonna get a lot of starts this year. We know that, but um, you look at their team and on paper, it's like wow, they got like Fernandez and Rashford and Eriksson, um, Sancho, I guess. But then like the other half of the field, it's like McTominay, eh, Dallo, eh. Like Harry Maguire is like the most. I don't know what he is. I can go on a rant, but I'm not gonna do it. I can go on a rant about Harry Maguire for an hour. He's not. He's just not that good. All right.
yeah,
I don't think he's that good. And then even like Fred too. Like he's not like he's a very one-dimensional player, I think, Fred. But so like that other side of the pitch, like with McTominay, Dallo, and Maguire, that's where the 2 goals came from. That's a
yeah.
gap. Like that's a gaping little area, I think, for them. Defensively, like for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I just again, like you have people who are like us, who are just outsiders watching the game. And it's like, wow, they have all these holes in their team. Like they have this guy missing. They have a gap here. They need a player to fill this spot. And we have no money to buy these players. Man U has all the money in the world. Go find 1 or 2 guys. And like we
Mm-hmm.
are seeing it from like a distance. The people who are in charge, why can't they just be like, we really don't have the players for this part of the field. We need better guys. They don't get them. They don't get good
Mm-hmm.
players. They get players that like have big names. Like they get like last season was such a shit show with them, with the
Yeah,
whole Sancho signing and Ronaldo and whatever. But basically complete opposite of what Pep does.
yeah,
Pep has a hole in his side. He finds a guy that's gonna fit, but fit what he wants him to do. He's
yeah,
not just gonna go find a guy that's like, oh, he can play the position. We'll
yeah,
stick him there. They have to be in your plans of like what you want to build as a team.
yeah.
And I really hope Ten Hag just gets rid of Maguire. Like I don't know what he can do because like I guess he's the captain of the team and whatever. But like I think Harry Maguire is such a cancer to Man U. I think he's so
Yeah.
poop. I think he's poop.
Yeah, I mean,
And
obviously, I don't know, when he first went, he was doing okay. Last season or two, it's just been like a lot of downhill trend going with this guy.
like
Just a lot of mistakes.
I don't know
You know,
why they keep
so,
him around.
I don't know,
Like
man.
he's 29 years old, so like he's not young in like the grand scale of things, but like he's an English player. He's like an England national player. He's been on Man U. He's the captain of the team, which is like a good resume to have. But you stink.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's kind of like what you said, where you fill in a gap. Like when City brought in Rodri, I had no clue who that guy was. It's like, who is this guy? And he turns out to just be like super solid for them there. So I think a lot of it has to go to, and I don't know the dynamics that Man U with like their scouting team and what Ten Hag's looking at, but it's, recognizing talent that you can afford and just bring them in and have them do for your side what you need done. Because at this rate, they're just going to keep signing guys, Cavani, Pogba, all these guys, and then you let them go for free. How much money they spend on Pogba, and now they're just taking a loss for that.
Yeah, that was almost, I think it was close to like 80 mil back then
Yeah.
from Juve, or maybe 65, and then yeah, free transfer gone.
Now, sure.
Happened to him twice.
Yeah. I mean, you do get, all the jersey sales.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you're running Man U. I'm sure you'll take, 40 million for him if he has to go at some point. To let him go for free, it's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to evaluate this team as. I don't know, because again, like, they have such good players. They have Rashford and Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes. Like, since he's been there, he's been so good for them. But I just think these 4 or 5 guys can't do it all. Again, this isn't a Man City podcast. It's not. But what I just said about City earlier, they play as a team so well. Like, when they go out and play, they have 11 guys playing not perfect football, but they have 11 guys playing really, really good football. And Man U, it's like you might have 4 or 5 guys who are like playing really well, then the other guys just aren't. Like, the other half of your field, or like whatever, like, split it down the middle, whatever it is, they just don't play good.
Yeah.
And like, it just hurts your team so much. And again, they're good named players, they're quality players, but it just, they can't make it work for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I know it's sorry, I just know it's Ten Hag's first year. He's been there for 2 months.
Yeah.
But like, we'll see. Again, it's the first game of the year. But it's just another situation where it's a team of Man United. If this was like, who had a 2-0 Wolves. Wolves lost 2-1. I don't expect Wolves to come out and like kill shit. You know what I mean? I don't expect Wolves to be top 4, top 5. That's just not how they are. From a team like Man U, you expect them to always be there.
Yeah.
And like, with the quality of players that they have, like, you expect them to be there. Like, it's just, and it's been going on 3 years now, basically. Since Solskjaer basically took over the helm, it's been not very good.
Yeah. It's actually funny because I know during City games, or even during maybe some other games where there's always a lot of reference to City. And I think it happens a lot because you see what's possible for a team. So you kind of see what like the standard is, and you can only compare other teams to the standard, right? And like what's possible. So I think, and inevitably Man U is going to be compared to City. I mean, for the rest of their games, right?
Yeah.
So, if your rivals are just going up and up and up and putting a competitive team, you're always going to be compared to them. And then the fact that City has kind of built this culture and this standard that all teams are trying to get to now, it's inevitable that you're going to get compared to them no matter who you are, because you all want to get there, right? You all want to win leagues and contend for Champions League. Just unfortunately, Man, you have a long way to go if they want to get back there.
Yeah, it's like they're not even contending to be the best team in England right now. They're contending to be the best team in their own city.
Yeah,
like, they can't even get out of that. It's going to be an uphill climb for sure. It's going to be a lot of growing pains, I think, and hopefully Man United supporters like understand that and they can be patient. I don't know if that exists in their mentality or not, but hopefully it does, because it's not gonna happen overnight. And we've been saying, even like last season's episodes, like last season's podcast, we say that they basically have to not blow up the team, but they just have to rebrand themselves as not the Man U that we used to be, but the Man U that we're going to be.
Yeah.
You can't go back. You can't, like, no one, like, they're not going to replicate what they did with Sir Alex Ferguson. Like, I don't think any team can do that because of the likes of Man City now and Liverpool, Chelsea get it going better. When Ferguson was like winning all his titles, it was basically them and Arsenal for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't until Chelsea ended up winning in like 2004. And then Man City came in like 2009 or whatever it was, like where there actually was more top caliber players and teams. So I'm not giving Alex Ferguson a pass or anything, but I'm saying it's just not the same EPL as what old
Mm-hmm.
Man U fans that won are used to seeing.
Right.
So they have to transition for the future and transition to like a different style of play that fits the modern game. And they're just not finding it with the players and not finding it
Yeah.
with the tactics. Ten Hag coming from Ajax, he was like really instrumental in how they have played and like how they have won their titles in the last couple of years, and like all like bringing up young players and young talent, youth academy, finding guys, putting them in good spots to be able to move other places. Because Ajax is obviously a top quality club in Holland, but they're not a top five league, right? They're not. It's not a
Yeah.
big league. So I think there they know that they're kind of like a branch off club, which I think they accept because they get a shit ton of money whenever they sign and sell players.
Yeah.
But Ten Hag is obviously taking over a way bigger role than just being the manager of Ajax. He's the manager for Manchester United.
Yeah.
So now his expectations are skyrocketed, and he's in a different position that he's never been in before, where as a manager for them, he could probably take guys from youth academy and just build them up. Where now he has to go find guys that are already established and bring them into the side.
Yeah.
Because
It's
if you
really
could
hard.
tell, yeah, if you were to tell Man U fans like, oh, we're gonna bring in this 18-year-old kid, he's gonna grow for 3 or 4 seasons, then he's gonna be really good. They're gonna be like, no, we want results now.
Yeah. Like, get us results now.
Go get a 24-year-old who's like sick, like right now,
Yeah.
and like just put him in our team and like have him fit in. That's what they I think want to do and want to have happen, but it's easier said than done, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, you got to be patient at some point. You can't just go after quick results, because then you get into this revolving door, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
then you're stuck in a revolving door.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure. We'll just quickly touch on Tottenham because I think they had a really good game against Southampton.
Yeah.
4-1 win. No goals from Son, no goals from Harry Kane this game, but still coming out with a big result. Another side where I think they're going to be in the top five battle for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Higher expectations now. I mean, Antonio Conte's been there for a full season, and who they bring in? Well, they brought some guys in at the transfer deadline last season in January.
Yeah. They got
But bringing in
Paris.
even Perisic, yeah,
Yep.
big signing. Richarlison, Basuma coming from Brighton. That's going to like help in the midfield a little bit. Not really big losses from them. I'm reading it right now. Steven Bergwijn, I like that guy a lot, but he didn't really get a good
Yeah.
showing at Tottenham,
No.
so he left the side. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty much like I'm not gonna say all or nothing for Tottenham, but it's gonna be like a good season, I think, for them. Like they
Yeah.
have quality now. Um, I mean, Conte's approach has always been like defense. So hopefully they can just keep doing that this year and have Kane and Son just run off and do their own thing. It's good to see Sessegnon score a goal for them too.
Mm-hmm.
He's been around for a while now and just like hasn't really gotten like over the hump of being like a really good player. So hopefully he can show up now and like stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen from Tottenham this year? Because you have Arsenal in your top four.
Yeah. For me, like, I'm thinking, we're gonna get in predictions already, but yeah, whatever. We'll do predictions now. I'm
All right.
thinking, City top, Liverpool second. I'm putting Arsenal third, and probably a battle between Chelsea and Tottenham for that fourth spot.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk Chelsea now.
Yeah. Let's go with Chelsea.
Um, okay. 1-0 win. Good win. They always find it hard to play at Goodison Park. I think they haven't won there since 2017 was the stat I kept seeing tossed around.
Yeah.
Again, like just of course it's got to be Everton. Of course it's got to be Lampard, like first game of the year. It can never just be like an easy like let's go play I don't know, Stoke. There's no Stoke this
Yeah.
year. Let's go play Wolves. Let's go play Villa or something. Got to go play Everton. Who are coming off like their monumental season last year. Holy shit. If you
Mm,
don't know, go back and look at the recap of last year, what happened with
yeah.
Everton. Um, Chelsea made a lot of signings this offseason. Uh, Most impactful one, I think, would be Koulibaly coming from Napoli.
Mm-hmm.
didn't know much about him. I knew he was a good player. That's all I really knew. I knew at Napoli he was really good. I talked to a friend of the show. He said that I asked like how good he was, and he said top five in Italy, a top five in the world, probably defender, best defender in Italy. So I trust his opinion. I just took it for what it was. Played first game, he did really well. I
Mm-hmm.
think he picked up a yellow card, kind of a shitty, unnecessary card, but he's there to basically fill the Rudiger spot.
Yeah.
Beat Chelsea's like their next long term center back, hopefully. And the Raheem Sterling signing wasn't my favorite. Let's just call it that, because again, I don't think we need another winger on this team.
Yeah.
Um, but I believe Rudiger, oh, sorry, I believe Werner, sorry, is departing the team um before the end of the transfer deadline here in August. So I think that might just kind of fill in the Rudiger spot. Oh my God, I keep saying Rudiger. Fill in the Werner spot as just another
Mm-hmm.
attacking threat. He's definitely going to start more games here than he did at City. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, Pep obviously had him kind of in and out of the side for whatever reason. I mean, he's got a ton of quality players there, but
Yeah.
with Chelsea, the likes of Pulisic and Mount and Havertz, Ziyech, and now you throw Sterling in there. I don't know, like if he's gonna get the playing time or someone's gonna have to like kind of sacrifice themselves. That's what it looks like it's
Yeah.
gonna have to happen, which is unfortunate because it's kind of the same issue Chelsea had last year.
Yeah.
But and with them not coming out and signing like a pure striker to replace Lukaku, they're clearly going to the false nine style of play,
Yeah.
and they're going to stick to it because what the issue was is that they didn't know again like what their identity was. They didn't know how they wanted to play because before Lukaku came in, when Lampard was there, they had Tammy Abraham, and like he's a number nine, but he also likes to get forward. He's got pace. He doesn't really fit like what a number nine is. They get that in Lukaku, and that
Mm-hmm.
clearly didn't work at all last year.
Yeah.
But now they're resorting back to their old ways of having no real number nine, just kind of younger, quicker players kind of flow through the game, kind of what Man City's basically been doing for the last couple of seasons. Even Liverpool, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think they're gonna stick to that, and they're gonna, again, they're gonna really take defensive, like they're gonna take defense as like their strength. I think like they're gonna really focus on that and kind of build from the back and do possession, all that kind of shit. Kind of boring to play like that, but if they can get results like this 1-0 away at Everton, and I'll take
Yeah.
that. Obviously, I sound like I'm being like ungrateful for the win, but it's just tough to see my team like again fill holes and fill gaps, but just not make really impactful signings.
Yeah.
Where it's like this is going to change the dynamic of our team, like because that's what Man City did.
Yeah.
Liverpool getting Nunez, that's going to get an impactful sign. It's going to change the mentality of their team. I think
Yeah.
Chelsea, okay, they got another really speedy winger.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
replaced a really good center back with a really good center back. Like they
Yeah.
didn't bring someone in and like add. They didn't add. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like
Yeah.
they added. They removed and then replaced.
Yeah.
They didn't add to the team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how they do this year. They squeaked into Champions League last year, fourth place, third place, third place. By like 1 point, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So they squeaked into that this year. I mean, it's going to be tough again against the top clubs. But I mean, I don't think. I mean, I really don't know. I don't know what to give them this year. I don't know what to think about them.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
tough.
you kind of said it all. I mean, it's if you don't make signings that are like always adding to your team. I mean, of course, you always have to replace people, but the signing of Sterling, I was honestly a little bit surprised.
I was very surprised.
That's probably not something they're missing in their team. And it's unfortunate that the Lukaku thing didn't work out because that's really what Chelsea's missing
Mm-hmm.
is a player like Lukaku in their prime or when he's playing well. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I like I said, I think they're going to battle it out for fourth. We'll see how things kind of go for the rest of the transfer window. I don't really obviously see them making any major moves with that, but they have been the team for me that's closest to kind of getting to that elite level in the EPL to compete with City and Liverpool for the title.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the last few seasons they haven't been able to get over that hump of being really impactful with their signings and just consistently getting those wins and not dropping points when they shouldn't. So, they got the win. We'll see if they can get to that spot by the end of the season. and compete for the title and just make it more interesting.
Yeah, and with them bringing in Lukaku last year, this kind of was like the point for me where I said, like, we're here. Like, this is like
Mm-hmm.
the move we needed to make to fight with Liverpool and Man City. And
Yeah.
then just that just went down the tubes.
Yeah.
So again, not by not replacing Lukaku with another like top quality striker or number nine, I don't know if it hurts them or not because I don't think they played that well when they had him there. So I don't know. Like when they brought him in, I don't know if they were doing fan service. I don't know if he wanted to come back. I don't know what like the whole situation was and like how it played out. But to us, the fans, when he came in, it's like, oh my God, like this is like this is Drogba 2.0 coming back. This is
Yeah.
like we're gonna be so good, so good. And then it didn't work out. So by him leaving, I think it's kind of like a weight off everyone's shoulders because like his time at Chelsea was just such like a depression.
Yeah.
Huh. So is that even a saying? I don't know,
Maybe
but
it is
it's
now.
it's just a depression. Um, so I don't know if that's gonna help things or not. Again, it's the Kukurea is another signing who, I mean, we have a lot of left backs and right backs. Like we have
Yeah.
James Chilwell, Azpilicueta re-signed to 2024. I think Marcus Alonso might be leaving. That's
Yeah.
the rumors I'm hearing. Kukurea, another player, a good signing for them. Young guy, he's 24.
Mm-hmm.
Really good player at Brighton last year, so he's getting his crack at a top club. Um, Again, it's difficult because like he played so well at Brighton last year, and Ben Chilwell missed an entire season. So you have now three guys basically all around the same age, all high quality players, but only two guys can play.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Tuchel is going to have them in like a rotation mode or whatever it's going to be like. I think they said that he can move up and down the pitch a little bit if they need him to. Same with Reece James as well. So we might even see some scenarios where all three are playing at one time,
Mm-hmm.
which could be exciting. But I don't know. I think the biggest gap in Chelsea's team right now is maybe a replacement for Jorginho, or I don't want to say Conte, but just a player who can not have, that doesn't have to run box to box, but a player in the midfield that can just like chance create,
Yeah.
kind of like a Christian Eriksen, like a player who can just kind of stay in the middle of the field and just like pick a pass left and right.
Yeah.
Because I think Jorginho's falling off a bit this the last couple of years. Conte's kind of lost his step the last couple of years. He's not as impactful as what he used to be like 5 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And then like Kovacic getting older. Guys like that, like those three middle guys, like that core that they kind of rotate in and out, throwing a young body in that mix, I think would really kind of spice the team up a little bit. There's still some time left in the transfer market season. I think it's caps off at the end of August. So
Mm-hmm.
recording this August 9th. We still have, almost 3 weeks left
Yeah.
for the transfer deadline until the transfer deadline. But we'll see if any other big signings happen from any of the top clubs or anything impactful in the Premier League in that time period. But yeah, I think Chelsea will be their top four at the end of the year. I don't have a reason why they wouldn't make Champions League. I don't think. I think that they still have the quality to do it.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to slot Chelsea in at third this year, and then have Tottenham and Arsenal fight out for fourth.
Okay.
That's kind of like my
Let's
prediction is
see.
going to be.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting, man.
Mm-hmm.
Looking
Do I
forward
do
to
like
it.
a relegation prediction?
No, like relegation,
No,
I can't do. Like,
that's
who
so hard.
knows, man? Like,
That's so hard.
yeah,
You don't want to hurt teams' feelings.
I want to hurt teams' feelings, but yeah, for fun, just see what happens. I'm gonna go. It's tough because I didn't see everyone play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Nottingham Forest, fortunately, Southampton, and I'll say Fulham.
Don't do it to the Craven Cottagers.
I honestly can't see like everyone else just seems too solid.
I
Honestly,
know.
like
I
I
know.
can't.
Yeah.
I
This
don't
is
see anyone else.
this is a quality season.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and like Bournemouth coming out winning 2-0 like first game, it's like ooh, like that's
yeah,
just like recency bias. That looks good.
yeah.
Um, I'll say Nottingham Forest as well. I know they had a good FA Cup run last year. So I mean, they had that going for them, but I don't know if they can do it all this year. I'll have to like watch more of their games for sure, to see how they play. But Nottingham Forest, I'll say I'm gonna say Leeds
Ooh,
because they were squeaky last year.
they
Like,
were.
last year was a pretty close time for them. Like they kind of just squeaked out.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, they added some guys this year, like Brendan Aronson. I thought he was American actually, but I don't think he is. Check this real quick. I don't think he's there. I don't think he's American. No. Oh, he is. He's American. Okay, damn, I'm right.
All right.
He's an American guy. He came in. I don't know. Tyler Adams, another player, pretty good. But then just like losing Calvin Phillips, I think might hurt them too much in the midfield. He's obviously like a really quality guy for them. So I don't know if their additions really are going to be that impactful, opposed to like what they lost. So I think Leeds, Nottingham Forest, and my wild card team is going to be Wolves. Yeah.
All right.
I think Wolves took a really back step last year too.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't score, man.
Yeah.
They couldn't. They're kind of like our team, kind of like Polonia FC.
Yeah. Can't
Just
score.
Can't score. We can't score.
I'm gonna get to that.
Decent team, but can't score.
Yeah.
So that's gonna hurt them, I think. So, what I say? Wolves, Nottingham Forest, and Leeds
Yeah.
are my bottom three.
Okay.
Fulham's gonna fight another day.
See, end of May. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see at the end of the day. We'll check in 8 months.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? 8 months from now? What a long season.
Yeah, man.
It's actually crazy.
Very long. It's awesome.
I love it though. And then yeah, you guys get a month and a half off.
Yeah.
It's
Then we got to come back, start all over again.
So funny. All right. I want to thank everyone for joining us, everyone for listening, everyone for watching on YouTube. YouTube people, like, subscribe, really helps us out. Even on the podcast platform, Spotify. I don't know if there's a comment section on Spotify, but on Apple Podcasts for sure. Give us a good good rating, 5-star rating. Leave a comment if you can. Review, whatever. Really helps out the show. Helps us out. We get no money from this. We do it just for the fun. But if you guys will, help us boost our ratings a little bit, it's always a little extra incentive.
Yeah. Would appreciate it, everyone.
Yeah. Next time we'll have Joe on, probably. Maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll get the trifecta back. But until then, we will check in next week after all the week's action.
See you, everyone.
Ciao.